Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today on the Divine Messages podcast. My name is Karina, and I am a psychic medium out of Calgary, Alberta. Today's episode is all about how your past loved ones find you and bring you to a medium. They can especially do it if they feel that you will be open and ready for it. One of the things I get asked the most is, what if I book an appointment and my loved one doesn't come in? In all the years that I have been doing this work, not once has their loved ones not shown up. Over the years, I've been told all kinds of stories from clients about how they had disappointing sessions with other psychics. And today, I wanted to share some of those with you because I feel it's important to know that there are really great psychics out there, but there are also not so good ones. Some receive energy and messages that may not always be from the greatest and highest of good. I believe that what it comes down to is this: if we try to control who we go to see to connect with our past loved ones, we may not get the validation that we seek. But if we allow our loved ones to guide us to the right person, then they can easily connect. I had a lady come to see me a few years ago, and the minute that she came into my home for her session, I could feel her nerves. I mean, a lot of people are nervous before they come for a session, but with her it was just almost like extreme. So as she sat down, she looked at me and she said, "I am so afraid that my loved one isn't going to show up today." She then told me that she had gone to see another psychic medium soon after her loved one had passed, and that the lady had told her that her loved one wasn't coming through for her because it was too soon, and that they didn't like to communicate until about 3 months after they crossed. And honestly, I sat there in full disbelief as she was speaking because all I could think of was, who is this medium that told her this? We do all see things differently and read differently, but I have never experienced someone having to wait 3 months for them to show up. It is true that they do have some learning to do on the other side, but from my experience, even souls that have passed from suicide or murder come through as soon as they get to the other side. I've honestly never heard of that kind of waiting period, at least not from what I've experienced. So maybe the medium just couldn't connect or wasn't experienced enough and came up with a way to get out of it. I really don't know, but from what I have seen, when spirits are ready to connect, they will. I could probably write a book with all of the amazing ways that Spirit has guided people to me. There is no such thing as a coincidence. Everything is perfectly orchestrated by the other side. I am continuously in awe of what they can do to connect with their loved ones. I had another lady contact me about 5 years ago wanting a session for her and her sister. And most times I communicate by text or email to book appointments, but that day she had called me. And I had found a date and time for her and was about to let her go when all of a sudden she started to tell me that she had this terrible session with another medium, and that was quite recent, and that she proceeded to tell me that she couldn't connect with her loved one at all, and she was so upset and disappointed. She then told me that she had heard about me through a friend and heard that I was really good. So in that moment, I should have been flattered, but instead I went into fear mode. I kept thinking, oh my God, talk about pressure. And so I went into worrying if I was also not going to be able to connect either. I always say that if you do book an appointment with me, there is a reason and your past loved ones have sent you. But in that moment, I couldn't help but worry about what she had said. Anyways, long story short is that when they showed up for the appointment, the person that they were desperate to talk to showed up the minute that they sat down, and it was an incredible session. The point is that they had heard about me and didn't seek me out because they were led to me, and that's why their loved one could connect easily. The other side always knows the right fit for you. You just have to trust their guidance. Over the years that I have been doing this full time, I have heard the most incredible stories from clients as to how they were led to me. One day, many, many years ago, I had a man phone me asking me for a session. He told me that he had found my business card in the seat pocket on his plane ride home. He had said that he was extremely skeptical about this sort of thing, but his mother had died about a year prior, and he was grieving so badly. He felt that it was too much of a coincidence that he had found my card in the pocket, so he took a chance and he called me. His mother had come through in the session and helped him to heal as he was just ridden with guilt, and she had sent him to help him release it. So now really think about this. What are the chances that my business card would be in the seat pocket on a plane? This is the stuff that you just cannot make up. So my favorite ways that I've heard about lately are the ones that say that they have Googled something and my podcast has come up. One lady recently said that she was trying to type in 333 and my episode called Angel Numbers showed up. There are so many podcasts out there, even with the same content, but yet that person was guided to me. That is not a coincidence. Their loved ones sent them because they felt that I would be the person that they would trust to channel their messages to them. There are mediums all over the world, and they will choose the one that they feel is best for you. The thing that I find the most incredible is how Spirit guides and plans my schedule. Now, even that may sound a little crazy, but they really time everything just perfectly. They know when to push me hard, and they know when to give me time off as well. Something happened a couple of months ago that happens a lot, and I feel it's so amazing that I actually want to share. A guy reached out to me asking me for an appointment for him and his mother. I looked at my calendar and I didn't know how I could fit them in without asking them to wait for a month. But magically, I found a date as someone had canceled. It was the craziest week that I was having, but I felt that I really just had to take them and not just take that cancellation as a break, which I normally would have. Well, it turned out that they had had an incredible reading, and the mom asked me why I had chosen that date. I then said to her that it was the only possible date that I could do. And that's when she told me that she couldn't believe it. It was the actual 20th anniversary of her husband's passing. For real, you really just can't make this stuff up. He brought them on such a special day so that they could heal. These things happen so much, and I can't even wrap my own head around it. They can really do such magical and wonderful things that are completely mind-blowing. I love sharing these stories so much because if everyone could just understand how the other side works, life could be even more healing and more enjoyable. And maybe people wouldn't feel so alone, and perhaps the grieving process would be less painful. We will always miss the physical presence of our loved ones, but trust me, they will do everything they possibly can do to prove that they are still very much alive, just in a different way. So I want to leave you all with this today. No matter where you are in the world, your past loved ones will try to find you. You do not need to search for them. Even if you are unsure if they will show up during a session with a medium, the right medium will be able to connect with them if it is divinely orchestrated. Let go and trust when the timing is right, because that's when it will happen. It should never be forced. If you are concerned about who will be the messenger to channel your loved ones, all you have to do is ask your angels and loved ones to guide you in the right direction, and they will. Remember, there are good and not so good mediums out there, just like there are good and not so good people in every profession. Just try to trust, and trust who you are being guided to see. If something doesn't feel right about them, trust your intuition. I like to say that the eyes are the window to the soul. Take a good look at their picture and feel them out. If they are the right ones for you, it will feel good in your soul. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today on the Divine Messages podcast. If you are wanting to connect with a past loved one, don't worry. They will find you when the time is right. If you feel guided to book a reading with me, I can be reached at www.divinemessages.ca or on Instagram at divinemessages333 or at the Divine Messages podcast, as well as on Facebook under Divine Messages or the Divine Messages podcast. Please bear in mind that the perspectives and opinions represented in this podcast are based solely on the Divine Messages interpretations. We can in no way be held responsible for the actions of our followers.